Hello everyone. This is the um, monthly APAC friendly meeting for SIG docs, and we have this every month, as I mentioned before, and it's on the fourth Wednesday of every month at 11 a.m. IST. And Yeah, I think as with every other meeting in the Kubernetes project, it's important for me to mention that this meeting is governed by the Kubernetes Code of Conduct, which basically boils down to please be nice to one another and refrain from the use of any harmful or abusive language whilst you're participating here and in other areas of the project as well, whether it's on Slack, whether it's on GitHub, whether it's during an in-person or virtual event, etc. If you do notice any such violation of the code of conduct, please reach out to the Kubernetes Code of Conduct Committee through the email conduct@kubernetes.io, so that the necessary action can be taken and the situation can be assessed appropriately. This is one of the ground rules that we start off with, primarily because we want to ensure a safe space for everyone to contribute to. And I know that we have Rizaldi here who's come from the new contributor orientation. So welcome, Rizaldi. And I hope you find your way in the project and learn how to contribute. We'll get to any questions that you or the other participants might have. In after we go through the updates and reminders and the agenda items, which I don't see a lot of, but if there are any discussion items, we'll be reserving a few minutes at the end to get to those. First up is our updates and reminders. The SIG docs, as you already know, caters to the documentation, and we have a ton of pull requests and issues submitted every week for assessment and for fixing various areas of the documentation website, that is kubernetes.io. In order to address the volume of requests, we have a PR wrangler and an issue wrangler, respectively, with responsibilities to um, assess these incoming PRs and issues, and to sort of appropriately label them and tag them. And in case of PRs, approve and review each of them from a style as well as a technical perspective. So when it comes to the PR Wrangler for this week, the point of contact is Dipesh Rawat, who is shadowed by John, and the next week's PR Wrangler is Tim Bannister, who's shadowed by Charles. The week after, it'll be Chiming, who doesn't have a shadow yet. Now, shadowing is basically a great way to understand the mechanics of PR reviewing and approving for those who are new, or those who have contributed and want to learn the ropes of reviewing and approving in this project. So if you're interested, any one of you, whoever's watching the recording or whoever's there in person, please reach out to one of the leads. It can be me, Natalie, Ray, or even one of the tech leads, so that we can edit the PR wrangling shadow list, which I shall open up for further clarity. So if you see here, these are the PR wranglers that we've assigned, and each each one can take on shadows. So this week is the week of September 22nd, which has the patient Dev John, and then this is what I mentioned. So if you are interested in shadowing any of the PR wranglers, upcoming PR wranglers, please do let us know the person you want to shadow and the week you want to shadow, respectively. You can reach out to me, Natalie, Ray, or any one of the tech leads. So I'm gonna take a pause there and see if anyone has any questions.
Well, yes, I have. I'm very confused in few things. So, uh,
Sure.
well, I want to contribute in like coding uh, part of Kubernetes, and I saw something like one thing I saw that you can like contribute anytime, anywhere. But one thing I saw recently that you have like posts in uh, Kubernetes, like you are assigned to do work. I mean, I don't get that, like how it's working or something. If I'm making sense.
Right. Yeah, I understand. So I assume that you're coming, you're a new contributor, or you haven't yet contributed as much as you'd like to Kubernetes. What I would recommend is for you to attend the new contributor meet that is specific to SIG docs if you're interested in contributing to docs, and the new contributor orientation that Rizaldi has actually attended. Because these will help clarify those very doubts that you just put forth in this call, because this call is specific to the special interest group of documentation. Now, of course, we have a part where we are looking at the code behind the website and the code used to um, generate reference documentation that's written entirely in Go. But again, from the perspective of answering your question, I would recommend that you attend the new contributor orientation. I can paste the link later on. But that should like sort out most of it, most of the doubts that you have. Because this conversation that we are having is very specific to the documentation website, that is kubernetes.io. And although we do have code contributions, a lot of the work that we do is relevant to just the documentation that we sort of that you sort of see on kubernetes.io. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes.
Like in this call right now, what we're discussing is the management review and maintenance of the documentation that you see on kubernetes.io. So there is code involved, but again, to find your way through the project and to understand the uh, you know mechanism of how this project works, I would recommend that you go through the new contributor orientation that's normally held. So I can post the link later on during the call. But yeah, any other questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. So, similar to the PR wrangler, like I said before, there's also the issue wrangler, uh, who basically wrangles or labels and tags the incoming issues that get reported on the GitHub repository Kubernetes slash website. And we have two issue wranglers for this, not two issue wranglers, for the next 2 weeks. We have one issue wrangler each. The next one is Xander, who's going to triage for the next week. And this week's issue wrangler is Abigail McCarthy. So if you have any issues under Kubernetes slash website, the GitHub repo, um, and if you they'll be responsible for triaging and labeling and tagging the issues respectively. So that's for this week's updates and reminders. And as always, if you notice a code of conduct violation, please reach out to the Kubernetes Code of Conduct Committee. This was mentioned earlier on, and the email that you need to reach out to is conduct@kubernetes.io. So those are the updates and reminders for this week. Now, moving on to the agenda, we do not have a lot of agenda items right now because a lot of this work happens async, and more or less a lot of the updates come through during the rest of the day. So right now we don't have any agenda item. And with respect to docs specific discussions, we do not have a lot of stuff to discuss because nobody's entered in any agenda items or PRs or issues that need discussion. So I'm gonna throw open the floor for any open discussion items that you might have, and that we can record in this agenda documentation. So if you have any questions around, if you have any questions or issues or concerns around the PRs or issues reported currently, please feel free to use this opportunity.
Yeah, if you have two questions, first one is there any specific skills needed to contribute in the SIG docs? And the second one is that maybe it's just for me, but do you have any advice for someone who just started to contribute to Kubernetes projects? Thanks.
So to answer both of those questions, first up, there are I don't know what your what skills or what area you're looking to contribute in. To contribute to SIG docs specifically, you can start by checking out the Kubernetes/website repo. We also have a new contributor meet and greet that's hosted by Sriram, who's also on this call here. Hi, Sriram. So we host it every first Tuesday of the month at 4:30 p.m. IST, where Sriram walks you through the logistics of contributing to SIG docs and what are the different areas and sub projects that we have within SIG docs that you can contribute to. Based on that walkthrough or based on those questions, based on that information, you can judge where you can contribute to. So there are you can write blogs, you can write technical documents, you can review blogs and review the issues that are coming through. There are various areas to contribute. So one of the recommendations that I gave Kunal, and I'm also giving you, is to attend the new contributor meet and greet next week with Sriram here, who will probably walk you through the logistics of contributing for a first timer to SIG docs. That's the first question, I think, that I answered. The second question, I do not really have any advice. It's just pick an area and start contributing and then branch out. That's normally the way I've gone through it. It might or might not work for you. I do not know. But that's how I started, and that's the only experience I can talk to. And although it's not very helpful as advice, that's the only thing I can proffer. But did that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thanks. It's helpful actually. Thank you.
Right. And for the new contributor call, how to attend and everything, I think Sriram, you'll be best positioned to answer that. Do you want to chime in or chip in with your inputs on the new contributor meet and greet for SIG docs?
Yeah, thanks. Hey, folks. Yeah, as Divya mentioned, the new contributor meet and greet call happens on the first Tuesday of every month, and the next call is on next Tuesday. Yeah, so that happens at 4 p.m. IST time. You can find the invite in the Kubernetes.dev website, where there is like a calendar where you can find all the calls, and you should be able to find the invite for this call as well. Yeah, so that happens next week. You can join that to learn more. Yeah, thanks.
And you can get the calendar invite directly to your mailbox. If I may add, if you join the SIG Docs group, Google group, so you don't need to go to kubernetes.dev. All the invites for SIG Docs, whether it is this meeting or the meeting at 11 p.m. IST every alternate Tuesday, or the meet and greet ones or the localization ones, all are tethered to our Google group. And if you join the Google group, you will get the invite. I'll paste the Google group as well here. It's further up, like if you go above in the agenda doc, I think the Google group's also given. So I'm gonna take it from there. If it's not, I will. Yeah. So this is the Google group here. If you join this Google group, you should be able to get all the invites that are relevant to SIG Docs. So yeah, uh, all the invites, whether it's new contributor meet and greet, whether it's this monthly call or the bi-weekly 11 p.m. IST calls, etc. Any other questions, folks? Okay, if there's nothing else, I'd like to give some of your time back, and I'll also make sure to post the um, new contributor orientation meeting bit. You can find that in kubernetes.dev again, but you I'll paste the new contributor orientation calendar invite as well on the SIG Docs Slack channel. So make sure you're you've joined that Slack channel so that you can get further updates. Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in today, and I hope you'll have a great day ahead. And we'll see you on one of the next monthly calls. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah, bye.
everyone. Thanks. Yeah. Bye.